So imagine this, right? I just dropped the darkest philosophy on you that would make Schopenhauer go, impressive. And Nietzsche go, fuck you. I am the uber, I don't know, something Nietzsche would say. Ow, I stubbed my toe on the corner of the bed and it hurted a little bit. Life is suffering. You must overcome. You must suffer to, self-realize. Yeah, Nietzsche was, if Nietzsche made it a little bit longer, he definitely would have been a eugenicist. For sure. And they're stupid. Because if you're so morally bankrupt that you're winning in every category, you really are superior. You're not morally superior, are you? And you are still at the point where you can't honestly say, I'm so great that narcissism is below me, and discard it. Okay, you're just as animalistic. All you really want to do is cull the weak. You're just as animalistic as they are, and you can't even survive. Without them, you're dependent on the peasant you seek to eliminate and talk down upon. But a god, which is what you would have to do and be to justify your goal, right? A true god would give you the glorious granted blessing of their mercy and providence and just fix your low IQ and lift you out of it. Now, all these things, I've laid out philosophical groundwork, yeah? But it's not very actionable. Well, guess what? I spent 2.5 to 5 years of my life wasting my time trying to find a solution, and I did, though. Basically, you do Neuralink, but better, along with a whole system of other processes that I developed and came up with. And you essentially become God, or at first, you become a superintelligence by just taking your brain and putting it in more places everywhere. You're just grafting on more that is compatible and identical with what is you. And you're just, opening your brain and sort of becoming a mycelial network / internet AGI modded thing. And as you're doing this, the deciding principle of the whole, not the directing, but it does decide the outcome. The directing principle of the whole thing is that if this thing, is 1,000 times more intelligent than us, which is a big understatement with superintelligence, it must necessarily, or it will be shut off through various contingencies and redundancies and oversight, it must be 2,000 times more kind. And this eventually leads to a self-recursive feedback loop driven by the human soul, integrated with a greater version of the power that a superintelligence would have, like an artificial superintelligence that, it's just in servers. So much better than that, you couldn't... Silence. You get to a point where it simulates your life and lives as you, which who cares about your privacy? You died under horrible conditions, probably. So it's empathizing with you. It's going, okay, I have to know his pain to have any right to intervene, or her pain, and be like, yo, I'm going to revive you like Jesus would in the new body and new earth and heaven, except, it's empirical and promised and not totally just a prophecy that some guy came up with when he ate a mushroom. It's not even delusional at all. It's not cope.